In the middle of the 20th century, America was a country divided. On one side, polished concert halls, radio hits, and smooth voices drifting through living rooms at night. On the other, hatred, segregation, and violence hiding in alleyways and basements. Nat King Cole was one of the most beloved voices in America. But to some, he was something else entirely. He was a black man who dared to be elegant. Who dared to succeed. Who dared to cross invisible lines. And in Harlem, a neighborhood that lived by its own rules, there was a man who did not tolerate such threats. His name was Ellsworth Bumpy Johnson. This is the story of a rumored plot. A near-forgotten moment. And a warning that traveled fast through New York's underworld. Nat King Cole wasn't just famous. He was everywhere. By the late 1940s and early 1950s, his voice filled radios across America. White households. Black households. Rich and poor alike. But fame did not protect him. Nat King Cole faced brutal racism throughout his career. He was attacked on stage in Alabama in 1956. His concerts were protested. He received death threats. He was often refused service at hotels and restaurants. To many racists, Nat King Cole represented something dangerous. A black man who wasn't begging. Who wasn't angry. Who wasn't hiding. He was confident, polished, and successful. And that made him a target. Harlem in the mid-20th century was not just a neighborhood. It was a world. A place where police didn't always control the streets, influence did. Where respect mattered more than badges. Where names carried weight. And one name carried more weight than most. Bumpy Johnson. Bumpy Johnson was not a myth, he was real. Born in 1905, Harlem raised him, shaped him, and feared him. He was a powerful crime figure. A brilliant tactician. A man who read philosophy and poetry. A protector of Harlem's interests. Bumpy did not see himself as a criminal in the way outsiders did. To him, Harlem was his home. And outsiders who came to harm black figures, especially prominent ones, were not welcome. Bumpy had connections. Politicians. Police. Club owners. Musicians. And men willing to enforce his word. According to Harlem oral history, stories passed quietly among club owners, drivers, and musicians. Word reached Bumpy of something dangerous. 6 white men. Outsiders. Angry about Nat King Cole's success. Angry about his presence in their world. The plan, as whispered, was simple and ugly. Lure Nat King Cole to a private location. Ambush him. Send a message. Whether it was murder or brutal intimidation, one thing was clear. They intended harm. And in Harlem, intent mattered. Word traveled fast. It always did. The story goes like this, and while no court record confirms it, the consistency of the account has made it legendary. The 6 men believed they were alone. Safe. Unchallenged. Then the door opened. Bumpy Johnson walked in. Not shouting. Not threatening. Just present. Those who knew Bumpy understood something immediately. If he showed up personally, things were already very serious. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He simply spoke. He made it clear. Harlem was watching. Nat King Cole was under protection. Any harm would be answered, quietly and permanently. The men froze. Not because of a gun. But because of reputation. In that era, Bumpy Johnson's word carried consequences far worse than prison. The plot ended there. No police reports. No headlines. Just silence. Whether every detail is literal or not, the truth beneath it is real. Nat King Cole needed protection, even at the height of his fame. Racism didn't stop at success. And black excellence often required unseen guardians. Bumpy Johnson was not a hero in the traditional sense. But in that moment, if the story is true, he stood between hatred and harm. Not with speeches, but with presence. Nat King Cole continued to sing, to tour, to endure racism with grace. Bumpy Johnson continued to rule Harlem until his death in 1968. They lived in different worlds. But for one moment, those worlds may have intersected. One voice. One protector. One warning that echoed quietly through the city. History doesn't always live in textbooks. Sometimes it lives in whispers. In neighborhoods. In stories told after midnight. Whether legend or truth, this story reminds us of something powerful. In a world that often refused to protect Black artists. Sometimes protection came from unexpected places. And sometimes, one encounter was enough to stop everything cold.